Diddy played a role in Tupac's demise, the repercussions would have been monumental for the hip-hop community. The East Coast-West Coast feud, which was already fueled by media sensationalism and personal vendettas, would have reached an even more tragic climax. This could have led to an even deeper division between artists from both coasts, potentially stalling collaborations and further polarizing fans. The legacy of both Tupac and Diddy would be forever altered, with Diddy possibly facing legal consequences and a tarnished reputation. The entire trajectory of hip-hop might have shifted, with artists possibly becoming more cautious about public feuds, prioritizing peace and unity over rivalry. However, it's crucial to remember that this is a fictional scenario, and the real events that transpired are far more complex and multifaceted. The music industry would likely have taken a hard look at itself, reflecting on the environment it had fostered. Record labels might have become more involved in mediating disputes between artists, fearing the potential legal and public relations repercussions of such high-profile incidents. There could have been a push for more mentorship within the industry, with veteran artists guiding newcomers on navigating fame, rivalry, and the pressures of the spotlight. The media's role in amplifying the East Coast-West Coast rivalry might have come under scrutiny. Journalists and outlets could have been criticized for sensationalizing disputes and possibly contributing to the escalation of tensions. This introspection might have led to a more responsible form of reporting, focusing on the art and impact of hip-hop rather than the drama. Fans, too, would play a part in this alternate narrative. The tragic outcome of one of hip-hop's most iconic figures could lead to a grassroots movement among fans, advocating for peace and unity within the genre. Concerts and events might prioritize messages of reconciliation, with artists from both coasts coming together to perform collaborative shows, symbolizing the healing of the rift. However, amidst this backdrop of change and reflection, the heartbreak would remain. Tupac's absence would be deeply felt, with posthumous releases and tributes pouring in, celebrating his life and legacy. Artists inspired by him would carry forward his messages of social justice, resistance, and hope, ensuring that his influence persisted even in this alternate timeline. The hip-hop genre might have undergone a transformation. With the tragic events serving as a cautionary tale, artists might have become ambassadors for peace, using their platforms to advocate against violence and promote understanding. The annual Hip Hop Unity Fest, a fictional event born out of the aftermath, could become a staple, drawing artists from all regions to celebrate the genre's diversity and shared history. Record labels, already wary of the violent undertones associated with rap feuds, might have become even more cautious about signing artists associated with any form of controversy. This could have led to a sanitization of hip-hop, with labels pushing for more radio-friendly, non-confrontational tracks. The grassroots hip-hop movement might have responded in kind, with underground artists rallying against the perceived commercialization and dilution of the genre. This could have sparked a renaissance of conscious rap, with themes centered around unity, social justice, and introspection. Furthermore, the public's perception of hip-hop might have shifted. Parents, educators, and policymakers, already concerned about the explicit content in rap lyrics, might have lobbied harder against the genre, leading to stricter regulations and censorship. On a more personal level, many artists who were close to either Diddy or Tupac might have found themselves at a crossroads. Loyalties would be tested, and collaborations that we now consider iconic might never have come to fruition. The Grammys and other award ceremonies might have introduced segments dedicated to promoting peace within the music community, with elder statesmen of rap stepping in to mentor younger artists. Lastly, hip-hop historians and enthusiasts would forever debate the what-ifs. What if the feud had been resolved peacefully? What if Tupac and Biggie had reconciled and collaborated? The hypotheticals would be endless, and the tragic events would serve as a somber reminder of the cost of rivalry and misunderstanding. In the aftermath of such a revelation, the hip-hop community would likely undergo a period of introspection. The genre, which had always been a platform for raw expression and social commentary, might have been forced to confront its own demons. The glamorization of thug life and the bravado that often accompanied rap battles could have come under intense scrutiny. There might have been a call for artists to take responsibility for the messages they send and the potential real-world consequences of their words. Music festivals, award shows, and other public gatherings would probably introduce stricter security measures, fearing retaliatory actions or further violence. This heightened sense of caution might have stifled the free spirit of these events, making them more corporate and less about the music. Young, aspiring artists, looking up to legends like Tupac and Diddy, would be presented with a cautionary tale. Hip-hop academies and workshops might emerge, focusing not just on the art of rapping, but also on conflict resolution, mental health, and the responsibilities of fame. The media's role in fanning the flames of the East Coast-West Coast rivalry would not go unnoticed. Journalists and media outlets might face backlash for their sensationalist reporting, leading to a demand for more ethical journalism. Documentaries and movies would be produced, dissecting the events leading up to the tragedy, aiming to educate future generations about the dangers of unchecked aggression and the power of reconciliation. Outside of the US, the global hip-hop community would react with a mix of sorrow and disbelief. International collaborations might increase, with artists from different countries coming together to promote a message of global unity and healing through music. In the midst of this turmoil, there would be those who would seek to capitalize on the tragedy. Unreleased tracks, memoirs, and tell-all interviews would flood the market, each claiming to provide insight into the minds of the central figures involved. This commercialization of tragedy would be met with mixed reactions, with some seeing it as a tribute and others as exploitation. As years pass, the legacy of the events would remain. While the initial shock would fade, the lessons learned would shape the direction of hip-hop for generations to come. The genre, born out of struggle and resistance, would once again prove its resilience, evolving and adapting in the face of adversity. The ripple effects of the tragedy would extend beyond just the music industry. Popular culture at large would feel the impact. Fashion, a close ally of hip-hop, might see a shift towards symbols of peace and unity. Brands that once capitalized on the street aesthetic might pivot to promoting messages of harmony, with peace signs, doves, and other symbols becoming prevalent in urban wear. Educational institutions, recognizing the influence of hip-hop on the youth, might introduce courses on the history of the genre, emphasizing the importance of understanding the socio-political context from which it emerged. These courses would not only cover the music, but also the culture, the feuds, and the lessons to be learned from them. The world of sports, where hip-hop also holds significant sway, would likely react. Basketball games, closely intertwined with rap culture, might begin with moments of silence in honor of lost artists. Athletes, many of whom idolized figures like Tupac, would become vocal advocates for peace, using their platforms to call for an end to violence both within and outside the music world. Philanthropy in the name of fallen artists would surge. Foundations dedicated to supporting inner-city youth, promoting arts education, and providing resources for conflict resolution would be established in their memory. Annual events, perhaps even a global hip-hop peace day, might be instituted, celebrating the genre's positive impact while remembering the costs of its darker moments. The tech world, ever adaptive, would also play a role. Social media platforms, recognizing their power in shaping narratives, might introduce features aimed at curbing online feuds and promoting positive interactions. Algorithms would be tweaked to highlight content that fosters understanding and unity. As the decades roll on, the tragic events surrounding Tupac's hypothetical murder would become a cultural touchstone, a point of reference for discussions about the responsibilities that come with influence, and the thin line between art and reality. Museums and cultural centers would host exhibitions, not just about the music, but about the societal reactions, the call for change, and the enduring legacy of a moment that shook the world. Yet amidst all this, the heart of hip-hop, the beats, the lyrics, the flow, would endure. Artists, while forever marked by the past, would continue to innovate, ensuring that the genre remains as vibrant and relevant as ever.